the time has finally come. I am going to harvest my garlic. It is currently June 12th, I believe, maybe 11th, and we have been getting non-stop rain, and I mean non-stop. The month of April, we broke a record. The month of May, I don't know if we broke a record or not, but we got several inches of rain. And then June, what we're in right now, every day except yesterday and the day before in June has been raining, and it is currently the 12th. So we have been getting a lot of rain. So I'm a little bit worried for how these will store. Typically, you're supposed to stop watering both garlic and onions at least a week before you harvest them. Sometimes people like to do more. I would like these garlic to get a little bit more yellow, but the only reason that I'm picking them today is because starting tonight, and today is Wednesday, going all the way through the weekend and until as far as the forecast goes, so at least next Monday, there is rain every single day, all day. And the rest of the garden loves it. It's kind of hard for my pollinators to make it out and pollinate everything, so I've been doing a lot of hand pollinating. But the garlic, I am definitely a little worried about. But I'm still gonna pick it, and I'm still gonna dry it in the best way possible. And to be honest, we'll probably use it within the next couple of months anyway, so hopefully it won't need too much time to actually dry. So I'm gonna start off with our small garlic, just because I'm curious about that size. So we planted both small and big cloves, and as you can see, this one was from a small clove. It made kind of a small bulb. We're still gonna dry it, we're still gonna eat it. It's not terrible, but I'm definitely hoping that the other ones are larger than this. Find that one either, but these are our small ones. They are pretty small, still edible though, still smell like garlic. Let's take the big ones. I'm kind of nervous for this. Those small ones look okay, they're definitely small, but they also don't have the strongest stems around them, and I think it's partially because this soil is still really damp. It sprinkled yesterday, it didn't rain, but it's enough to make these really difficult. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! You're kidding! Oh my gosh! Look at that! Oh my goodness! Look how big that is. This is larger than a clove that you would buy at the grocery store. That is crazy. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, here I have one bed of very pungent, very large garlic. I could not be happier with this. These bulbs, some of these are absolutely massive. These are huge. I do also want to give a representation of planting small cloves versus big cloves. This was a small clove, this was a big clove. It does make a difference. So this is my other garlic bed. As you can tell, it's a little bit less kept And I will admit that these did not get the same fertilization that those garlic did, so I don't expect them to be as large, but I think we can still get some good heads out of them. Nope, I think they're good. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I thought they wouldn't be as big, but Lord, this one is big. These here are onions. I'll take those in a little bit. I am super proud of this. These bulbs are so much larger than I thought they were gonna be. Obviously, we've still got some smaller ones, but these are some nice large bulbs. So I realized that I haven't talked about when I planted them, what varieties they are, how I fertilized them, where I got them from. And so I just want to go over that really quick, just a little bit. To answer the question where I got them from, I got them from a farmer's market in the city over, from some local farmers. I don't know what variety they are. I really wish that I did, because they grew really well. But I went to my farmer's market in like fall of last year, bought 3 or 4 cloves, asked, hey, are these organic and can I replant them? They said yes, and I held on to them until November, and then I think about mid-November I planted these, and they had their cold period from the rest of November throughout December, throughout January, and then they did sprout in February. And after that snow had melted, I went ahead and gave them a blood meal fertilizer. Blood meal is high in nitrogen, and that is the only thing that I ever fertilize these with. And from that period, in let's call it mid-February to today, when I harvested them, I fertilized them 3 times with blood meal. I had no other fertilizers for them, and I did nothing special. I didn't dig dirt out around them. They were just in the ground chilling. I did take their garlic scapes off a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, just so that they could have those bigger bulbs. But other than that, these are just kind of a sit and let them grow plant, and I'm very happy with how they turned out. So now that we've got the garlic out, I'm going to clear out all the weeds, and there's a couple onions in there that I'm going to take out. And I'm going to plant another succession of this heavy hitter okra. This is literally a variety from Oklahoma. It's supposed to perform really, really well. And then this is a pumpkin variety. It's early sweet sugar pie, and it's 90 days to harvest. So I still have enough time to put this in the ground, have it sprout, have it grow, and it should be harvestable by late September. And our first frost is typically late October. And so these should be good, and we should have a pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving. Oh my gosh. Okay, a little moment for the onions. Hello? These are massive. These are big. Oh my gosh. That's funny. I like those. This is why I'm using that pickaxe. This specific type of weed will grow roots not only down but out and intertwine, and then you try and pull them out and it goes like this, and you need this in order to stop the weed from spreading. So now I've got to decide where to plant everything. I think I'm gonna do this pie pumpkin right behind the lemongrass, just because it does need a decent amount of space to fill out and grow. I put 3 seeds in there, cover it up, and that's how I'm going to leave it there. Now I do have 2 feet here that I'm going to do a second succession of okra with. You can see I've actually got a plant growing here, and I don't know if you can see the one in the corner. It's a little bit smaller, but I really want to be able to can up some okra this year. I love, love, love pickled okra. I think it's the best thing known to man. And so I want to make sure that I have a lot of it. Okay, and that's it for this bed. The other thing I wanted to do today was pull onions that have their tops fallen over. So ones like this. This means that they are done growing and that they are ready for storage. Now these are somewhat tiny. I've got a couple large ones, but this was my first time growing this variety. I don't know if I'll grow them again. You guys did see one out in the garlic bed. That's the same variety as this one. I think the difference might be soil and light. This is on the side of my house, and so I don't know if it gets as good of light as that other bed. It's okay. Oh yeah, this one, I'm excited about this one. Look at that. That is crazy. That is a good sized onion right there. We'll pull this one too. Oh, nice. Looks good. We still have several onions that are growing, but these had their tops fall over, and then we've had a couple that have bolted, so we have probably just under the amount of onions that we planted, and so we are going to dry those along with the garlic. Today's onion and garlic harvest looks so good. So the final thing that I wanted to do today was just fill in some empty spots. Obviously we've got that empty spot where that garlic was, where that blue popcorn is going to go when it gets here within hopefully a couple days. But we've got some open spots from, I had one of my hollyhocks die because I think it drowned. We had so much rain that I think it just got drowned and rotted. We pulled out some onions. And then I've got a broccoli plant that I harvested a teeny tiny head from, and I'm just ready to toss it and put something else in its place. Here we are going to have our blue popcorn, and then I've got a bed on the other side that has sweet corn. If you're thinking, whoa, hold on, 2 varieties of corn, 1 sweet, 1 didn't, not good. You would be correct. That is not good. However, my sweet corn has 120 days to harvest, and the corn that I'm about to plant has 80 days to harvest, and so they should not tassel at the same time, so they hypothetically should not cross-pollinate. We will see. It's my first year doing this, but I'm very hopeful. Alright, here's my really sad hollyhock that is just, I'm pretty sure it's just rotten. Yeah. Our local news outlet posted something the other day and was like, Oklahoma is out of a drought for the first time in 6 years. And we were like, we don't want to be out of a drought. This sucks. It's killing everything. Nobody can get outside. This has been a very, very wet season. And I know that it's not just Oklahoma, but definitely a tough season for a lot of gardeners. These are sunflowers, and the variety is called Moonwalker. Here I have my broccoli that produced a very tiny head. I had to be careful. I touched a caterpillar last time. I'm just going to take it out. Golly. Look, I transplanted the carrot. Not very well. This is back in February. That's why you don't transplant carrots. I'm trying to keep all that soil in there. I'm going to plant some of this Black Beauty summer squash. Just zucchini. And if you have watched my other videos, you know that it's really hard for me to grow squash. And I have kind of given up on squash, except for this year. And that is because I have my butternut squash over there, and there have been squash bugs, but there haven't been as many. And I think that's because, one, we had a cooler, wetter spring, and two, I've attracted wheelbugs to the garden that eat squash bugs and squash bug eggs. And so they haven't been, and I'm gonna knock on some wood, they haven't been as bad, which is why I'm planting zucchini and that pumpkin over there. So the last thing that I'm gonna plant today are some bush beans. So I've got Burpee Stringless Green Pod and Gold Rush. Both of these are bush varieties and stringless, so that you don't have to de-string them before you cook them and eat them. We love dilly beans, we love cooked green beans. I've actually, on a trellis over there, got some yard-long beans already growing. They've grown pretty tall, but those are a pole bean, and these are bush beans. And they don't need a lot of space, so we're gonna try them here. They really only need about 6 inches per plant. And that's kind of what we have here. And we have a spot over there that's got 6 inches. And so I think it's at least worth a shot, because I've got a ton of seeds. And I'm really just trying to maximize space as much as I can. I'll just dig a little hole, put them in, and cover them up. And I just planted the Burpee Stringless Green Pod. And I'll stick to those in this bed, and then I'll plant the yellow ones in a different bed. Alright, and then over here I'm going to plant these Gold Rush beans. I'm going to do one in the front and one in the back. I think that's where I'm going to end the video for today. I've got to go inside and definitely clean up and get ready for work, but I hope you enjoyed. If you learned something or you just enjoyed watching the video, felt entertained, please remember to leave it a like and comment down below if you have any comments or questions or any ideas for future videos. And until next time, happy gardening!